Should your son join a fraternity in college? Please welcome Derek Barksdale and his very special guest, the president of Delta Epsilon of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated at San Diego State University, Brian Levett.
Should your son join a fraternity? We've got, of course, Derek Barksdale here. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm outstanding.
Good to see you. Great. Yeah, this is awesome. And you brought a friend today.
I did, a very good friend. We go way back.
Brian Levett.
Yes.
Levett.
Yes.
I love it.
Got it.
Yeah, so actually what's crazy is Brian and I go back, 15 years. You know, we basically, I was a coach for football, youth football, and he's with the East Lake Panthers. Him and my son played together, and I call him the little bobblehead running around because, you know, he's in Mighty Might.
He brought it up.
Like,
right.
I had to. You thought I was going to let that ride?
Right.
But Brian was actually a really good athlete, and you know, he went all the way through high school and got hurt, unfortunately, before he went on to college. Otherwise, you know, he'd have probably had some other things going on there. But he made a success for himself through a fraternity and through SDSU and other ways. So I actually had an opportunity to meet up with him just by chance through the Eagles organization, which you may remember, Merv Cutler. Exactly. We basically are mentors to different minority youth throughout the county, and we were introduced to Brian through Jack Jackson. His son is with the fraternity here, and they came up with an idea, hey, why don't we create some forums and try to help out the Kappa Alpha Psi and see what we could do. And man, it just turned out great. And then I opened the door and there he was.
Right.
It was crazy. I didn't even know he was there.
So it should be said you're a retired Navy lieutenant.
Affirmative.
You also run Military Mutual.
Affirmative.
And the Military Mutual Initiative.
Absolutely.
501c3. And Brian, you are currently the director of the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity.
Exactly.
But you're about to pass that torch because you just graduated,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir. Exciting. Very exciting.
That's cool.
Yes,
So, I mean, I think let's start with this macro question,
Okay.
and then drill down from there. I mean, should your son join a fraternity? I never joined a fraternity in college.
Right.
Did you join a fraternity?
I did not.
Other
I
than
was
the
in the
United
largest
States Navy?
fraternity in the world, the United States Navy.
Man.
Military, that is it.
Fraternity that does allow women, though.
Affirmative. Yeah, that's it. It's the biggest.
Right. Yeah. So that's a pretty big fraternity.
It is. It's
and
huge.
you were part of that for a long time.
A very long
Couple
time.
decades.
21 years.
21 years.
I just couldn't pass all the tests. You know what I'm saying? It took me a while.
So, Brian,
Yes.
in your fraternity, and they're not all the same, right?
Of course not. Of course not.
There's always differences amongst
Yes.
the fraternities, but how's it affected you being in a fraternity?
Being a part of a fraternity, especially mine, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, has been integral in my development and my growth as a leader and as a student, as a person, as a whole. You know, going in to college, because I actually didn't join the fraternity until basically my fourth year. I ended up taking 5 years at my university. Kinesiology is a crazy major, I'll say that. But as I was saying, you know, I didn't join the fraternity until my fourth year of college, and it was for different reasons. I didn't feel as if I was ready yet or not. But once I did, it skyrocketed my growth at the university. It forced me to be a bigger and better leader on campus. You know, forced me to focus on my schoolwork even more, and to be, you know, in a role where I was in charge of leading a whole bunch of men who are, you know, on the same wavelength, thinking the same, trying to be great. It was something amazing. It was an amazing opportunity for me. You know, it really helped me out. It also helped that one of my cousins is actually a part of my fraternity. He was one of the inspirations for me being a part of the fraternity, as well as a few members of San Diego State. That includes Dr. Aaron Bruce, who's actually the Chief Diversity Officer on the campus, and there was also a few other people like Billy Carter, who's actually one of my associates, one of my fraternity brothers. He was a huge inspiration. Matt Griffith. There's you know, the list goes on. But those were people that I saw that were doing great at our community at San Diego State, and who I aspired to be like. And you know, being able to take on that role as the polemarch or president of the fraternity, you know, was just an amazing thing for me, and I'll never regret being a part of this fraternity. It's been the best thing for me.
Did you have to win an election?
You know what? I actually went unopposed, but it didn't matter. I was really excited to be a part of the fraternity. Like I said, just being a chance to be amongst brothers that, I grew up not having any brothers. I have one younger sister, Brianna, and she's about 5 years younger than me. So growing up, I was the only child for a little bit. And, even then, I never really had that sense of brotherhood. I went to a small private school in elementary where there was probably only 13 other students. I graduated in a class of 12, and to see kids or males that looked like me and aspired to be great, there was very few. So being a part of the fraternity was, and especially this fraternity, was just amazing.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I'm so proud of this guy.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm just seeing this kid grow up. It's just,
Yeah.
I almost did. I almost teared up. I was like, all right, cut.
Well, I mean, it's, we say fraternity.
Right.
Now I'm amongst the generation who, when I went to college, was before the whole dry campus thing.
Oh, of course.
So the idea of fraternity is very different. The reason I didn't join a fraternity is because I went and looked.
Right.
I talked to different ones. I walked, you had to step over kegs and people laying on the ground.
Beer cans.
I was like, I don't think this is going to be good for me.
Right.
So I didn't do it.
Right.
But when we say fraternity, what we really mean is a group of people who identify as one whole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Which is the same with the Navy.
Absolutely. There's so many parallels. It's ridiculous. And that same growth, I mean, my brother was 8 years older than me, so I didn't really have him, throughout my childhood either. He was always that older kid that I never really hung out with. So he wasn't the mentor at that point in time. So when I joined the military, same type of thing.
Right.
I found this common bond that I was missing and thriving for so many years. And it really helped me in so many ways, just like you mentioned leadership.
Right.
In the military, you find yourself in leadership roles at a very young age. Next thing you know, you're doing things. You're like, wow, I could do this. This works out, pretty well. And then, I don't know if you have to deal with budgets or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
all the time.
That really helps out in so many other ways, because not only a personal checkbook, you're taking care of other people's money, and that's what I love about the military. And same thing with probably a fraternity.
Right.
It's not about you, and I always go back to that whenever I'm on your show. It can't be about you in life, and once you figure out through either it be a fraternity or through the military, that everyone's out for a common goal and we can help each other, then life becomes so much more than what it was when you were out there on your own.
Yeah, it's a very small life if it's just about you.
Yeah,
right. It's a very small thing that you're living in. And anything like this is going to expand that feeling, right?
Yeah.
Because you have whether it's brothers in the military or brothers in your fraternity.
True.
There's always someone who needs something.
Right.
And there's always someone else in your command or in your chapter that has that solution.
Right.
And then you start to see the power of a team.
Right.
That's what it really is, right?
Yeah.
It's a team.
Right.
So do you feel like having been a part of this fraternity has helped you with your future, like the ability to take on a big task? Like, hey, here's a big job. You got the job. Don't screw it up, right? So, I mean, do you feel like you're prepared?
Oh, most definitely. That's like you said. It built that team building aspect and skills that are necessary to move forward. And like you were also saying, the leadership that it provides, like as in Navy or whatever thing in life. Leadership is huge, and that's one of the things that we are that we target. One of our mottos is training for leadership, and that's what we have done throughout the whole fraternity from the beginning when we're in the classes to try to learn to be a part of the fraternity. One of the main things that is hammered into our brains is working as a team and being a leader so that we can better ourselves first, then our brotherhood, and then the community at large. And that's one of the biggest things that helped me. And then just the brotherhood that you create with the brothers within the fraternity is amazing. And you see the brothers doing amazing things. For example, on our campus, one of the one of the very few African American presidents ever at San Diego State is a part of my fraternity, Chimizi Eberwekwe. You know, that's somebody that, you know, I'm so proud of him and things of that nature. You know, Francisco Gonzalez, leader of the Educational Opportunity Program, Billy Carter, president of the, you know, Greek Life Activities Board, and Gaz Adaluga, you know, he's the president of the Student African American Brotherhood, and just seeing the leaders just within our brotherhood inspires me and helps me to push on to, you know, have that perseverance, and just knowing that I have them, you know, and they have my back, you know, has helped me tremendously to have the confidence to pursue anything and everything that I want to in my future. So it's been an amazing thing. Like we talked about, I've had a lot of responsibilities within the fraternity, whether it be hosting, you know, large scale events downtown or you know, even on campus with thousands of students, and you know, just having those experiences and, you know, working as a team and, you know, being able to lead these men. It's done wonders for me, and I know it's going to be something that I can help, you know, translate into my next step.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I wanted to bring it up, because, you know, I'm 36, so I don't even have kids that are going to college.
Right.
And so I imagine the people who do have kids that are going to college right now, probably of the same sort of predisposition that I have about, or that I had when I experienced going to see fraternities and the Greek life and all that stuff. Now I went to school in Bazoo, which is in University of Missouri in Columbia.
Oh, party town, I'm sure, right? It's SEC, right?
Dude. And so I think it's good for people to kind of know that. And of course, Brad Pagano looks like he gave us a shout out here. If you want to say hi, feel free to do so. We can say hi right back to you. That's what live Facebook is all about. So I think that, you know, what we're hearing here is that things have probably changed a lot.
Oh,
yeah. You know, since you went to college, you know, things have changed. Campuses are dry. You know, it's more about school. Yeah, and it's gotten more expensive, so it's more serious.
Yes, that's
definitely.
true.
It's gotten expensive.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right? And you were talking about budgets earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Having to manage budgets.
Yeah.
I mean, how important is that for every single person coming out of college today? Because the cost. Someone told me. You know, I just went. A couple weeks back, I went to Claremont High School, which is where I go and I talk to seniors. They had me talk to the freshmen and the seniors this year, which I thought was interesting to see the two perspectives.
Yeah, of course.
But the seniors knew how much college cost. I mean, they knew. They've been looking at it.
Yeah.
They were spouting off some numbers, and I was just like,
whoa.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Well, you know, my son went to USD, probably the most expensive school in the world. It was like $280,000.
I saw the sweat come down right there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, $280,000. Fortunately, he was a good athlete, so it kind of helped out in that regard there. But, you know, with that being said, you know, with the fraternity that they have now, it is different from back when we were growing up, and, you know, the keg parties everywhere that you had. I actually had a chance to be around UC Davis at a point in time when fraternities were big, and that's all it was just a street of parties you just went to. Now, and to put it in perspective, the whole reason why I actually reunited with Brian is because the Eagles organization was able to come down. They basically requested us, and we were able to talk to them about entrepreneurism. We were able to talk to them about networking. We were able to talk to them about finances, and basically I particularly had an opportunity to speak with them about identifying a career path. And you know, they were so attentive. They asked questions that were so deep, and you could tell that they really had thought about it, and that it really mattered to them. And you know, my whole thing is it can't be about you, and making sure that it aligns with the passion that you have. And so the great thing is every one of them had a passion in there, and they kind of knew it and they kind of felt it. And that's something that if you just kind of walk aimlessly, and unfortunately, you know, the college school system sometimes can be a failure to us at times. I think that kind of keep you in a box, and then they keep you in this particular career path through school, and you get out and then you realize, wow, that isn't really what I want to do. And this isn't, how many times do you hear about it? People changing their major and over and over and again, and then when they get out, they're not even doing what they're doing. What they were intended to do. But these guys basically have a passion, and they were able to share with one another, you know, what that passion was. And it's just great to be a part of that, because quite honestly, although the military did provide a lot of mentorship, it was never in kind of that forum type of you know, asset, and they asked for that. That's the difference in today's fraternity from yesterday's fraternity.
They said, hey, come in and talk to us.
Exactly.
Affirmative.
Which is great. It's the same thing that Claremont High School did with me in the Academy of Business Technology, which is who I went there and talked to them through. They are saying, hey, listen, we know we don't know everything.
Right.
So can you come shed some light on us?
Right.
Can you come drop some knowledge that we wouldn't be able to get here from teachers
Right.
because they've only lived the academic life.
Right.
Yeah.
They went to school and then they went to a school to teach.
Right.
So they never went out there and
Right.
kind of dove into some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you guys through the Eagles organization, you're going and basically providing these these are
Workshops,
mentorship workshops /
Exactly.
forums where people could ask questions and say, hey, what about this? What about that?
Right.
Starting a business, things along those lines.
Exactly, and they had about 20 people in each of the courses,
Right.
and we had Jack Jackson, Keith Gooseby, Merv Cutler, Alan was there, business owners who were very successful with their own businesses, and people who were very senior in government service and kind of learned the hard way through life on how to deal with certain situations. And so it was great, and it's not only for them, it was for us too. We got out of there and we're like, wow, this is what it's all about. And we just felt something that was special inside, because a lot of times we have these successes that other people look at, but it's not really success unless you could share it with other people.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Fantastic stuff. Now you guys have some upcoming events, is that right?
Yeah, actually, we're actually getting ready to get into our summer retreat in July in a few weeks. But one thing that we can always look forward to is our homecoming tailgate. This year, homecoming is going to be a little bit early for San Diego State. It's going to be in October. I believe it's the 21st and the 22nd. And every time or every year before the football game, we have a huge tailgate. All of the other fraternities and sororities will be there. We'll have all the food that you could ever think of, have the music, have steps and strolls, and it's something that the community should definitely come out to check out. It's a really good experience, and you can also support your Aztecs, who are actually doing an amazing job over these past few years. So it's going to be exciting.
Fun stuff.
That's awesome.
How about for Military Mutual? You guys have some events going on?
Yeah, the biggest one that we have is going to be the September 18th. We have a Heroes on the Green golf tournament. It's going to be raising dollars for Warrior Home and basically providing assets for those wounded warriors to basically not only revitalize their lives, but also revitalize their homes. So we're really excited about that. We have some great sponsors that are already involved in it. And if you don't know about it yet, you will know about it soon. We're going to be making sure that we have a large media push outside of this as well, and making sure that we send out some emails to everyone. So please look out for it. September 18th, it's at the Palo Mesa Golf Course.
Tremendous, and we'll post links beneath in the comments thread.
Perfect.
Regarding both of these events. Thank you guys so much for coming in today.
No
I really
problem.
appreciate your time. Tremendous stuff. This is the awkward 3 seconds before we actually go off live. So if you guys want to get a dance move in, now's the time to do it.
I don't have it like that, man. That's pretty good.
You don't have it? You don't have it? No? You've been in the military too long.
Oh, man.
Here it goes.
Okay.
You got to take the grocery cart down.
The grocery cart?
Great.
Oh, don't do the lawnmower. Don't do the lawnmower.
How do you know what's coming?
Goodness.
How do you know what's coming?
Because I know
That. Old school.
Awesome. We're good now?
Nice.
I don't know. It doesn't look like he shut it down yet.
Oh, man. Okay, the
All right,
lawnmower.
keep it going.
I can get up and do the running man. I know I can. I won't break dance because that's Anthony's thing.
Oh, God.
Oh, you want to take on Anthony one of these
No. I broke my toes almost one time. The last time I did the windmill.
Wow.
Flipped around, and then you know how you try to flip it? Yeah, it was not good.
Wow.
I'm 6'4", man.
Yeah. Can't be doing all that.
All right, thank y'all for tuning in.
All right. Thank you.
All right, great.